of the second ever Women's Basketball Invitational Tournament from the Knapp Center in Des Moines, Iowa, as the Marquette Golden. This should be a good matchup between two teams who like to get it up and down the court.
Yeah, I agree, Larry. It's going to be, I think, a really fast-paced, up-tempo game.
Into the center circle for the Bulldogs, Anna Miller, the senior, and jumping against a high-jumping Skylar, and the pass goes inside. It's a quick basket for Jaden Mason, and very quickly, just less than 10 seconds into the ballgame, the Golden Eagles score first. Miller gets the feed inside. She gets around Skylar Forbes, and that matchup could be a big one today.
Yes, it definitely could be. I think it's going to be a battle in the paint the entire game.
There's the starting lineup for Marquette. Lee Volker was a concern for Marquette because she hurt her knee in the final minute of the quarterfinal Big East game against Villanova. However, she has been able to recover. You see she's got the right leg wrapped, but other than that, she's feeling fine. So it's the same starters that have started virtually all year for Kara Consuegra. Inbounding the basketball will be Abby Alsma. Change of the Bulldogs starting lineup, getting her first start in this her 98th game as the Bulldogs, Ashley Imes, as Anna Miller scored in the paint twice to give the Bulldogs an early lead.
Yeah, I think Anna's already being really active on both ends, and that is definitely what's needed the entire game.
Nice feed inside to Forbes. Forbes has the ball slapped away. Abby Alsma comes up with the steal. The Bulldogs have numbers. Dinnebeer leaves it back outside for Imes, and the Bulldogs will now run in their offense. But Imes getting the starting call today on her 98th and perhaps final game in this building in her Drake career, and therefore her first career start. Dinnebeer with 10 on the shot clock gets it off to Imes. She fires a three ball long. Miller and Forbes battle for the rebound, and the Golden Eagles come up with it. Marquette averages about 66 points a ball game. They are undefeated when they get to 70 or more. Forbes, as you said, she can step outside.
Yep.
She tried it there.
She was ready to go.
Dinnebeer, number 6 in the country in scoring, goes in deep and gets fouled by Jaden Mason.
Katie's already starting off doing what Katie does best, getting to the basket, getting to the line, getting points on the board.
She has been phenomenal. She's now the second year in a row Jackie Stiles MVP in the Missouri Valley Conference. But in her last 9 ball games, she has scored more than 40 twice, including her last performance against Murray State, and 30 points more than 5 times.
Yes, she has been a scoring machine this year.
And she has so very many honors, latest coming this week. Honorable mention All-America. She knocks down a couple of free throws, and the Bulldogs jump to a 6-2 advantage.
Yeah, she's having a great senior campaign, really making the most of every game this season as she ends out her career at Drake.
Imes now leaves the Bulldog lineup, replaced by the player who had been starting most of the year, Shannon Fornchell, who started the last 27 ball games. The feed comes inside, and the pass is laid up and in by Lee Volker, and it's a 6-4 ball game in favor of the Bulldogs. Miller tries to get it inside to Fornchell, but the ball batted away by an Iowan in Hallie Weiss. Driving the baseline is Volker. Blocked by Becker. Becker has played more games than any other Bulldog, coming up with the block. Miller, who hit 4 threes against Illinois State in the first round of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, leaves it off for Dinnebeer, who misfires. And it's Jaden Mason, a junior from Kansas City, who is very familiar with the Bulldogs and with this building as she played at Southern Illinois.
Yes, she transferred over to Marquette with that coaching change and
gets the ball inside, and Fornchell's going to pick up the foul.
I feel right now the game's a little bit like a track meet. Both teams are just settling in, getting up and down, really need to slow down a little bit and get into their offense.
One of the things that Allison Pullman thinks might be an advantage is the Bulldogs are known for their depth. They play a lot of players, and right now they make a couple of changes as Tayden Gray comes in and Ava Hawthorne comes in. Forbes at the free throw line, where she is a 90% free throw shooter. That is best in the Big East and 9th best in the country. She's at 109 of 121 coming in, adds 2 more there to tie the score at 6. On top, it's Becker. Gray looks inside. Dinnebeer posting up and trying to reach over her and knock it away, and committing the foul is Olivia Porter. Prior to the game today, Kara Consuegra indicated that maybe it would be Jaden Mason to guard Dinnebeer, but so far, at least on that possession, it was Porter who was taller, a little bit taller.
Yep, a little bit of height difference there.
Ava Hawthorne, the junior from Ames, Iowa, inbounds to Tayden Gray. She'll take it right to the paint. Going for the block, but committing the foul is Skylar Forbes. And, of course, one of the big stories in this ball game would be foul situations. Marquette not as deep as Drake, but neither team especially deep after the starting 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's definitely something we have to keep an eye on. I mean, both teams are pretty good free throw shooting teams, so we want to keep them off the line as much as we can.
Gray, a junior from Lenexa, Kansas, who did not play last year due to an injury, knocks down the free throw. Just her 13th visit to the free throw line this year, and she has hit 6 up prior to that. Knocks down a pair there. Bulldogs have hit their first 4 free throws, and Marquette's hit their first couple. Two teams that shoot high in the 70s with their free throw percentage. Forbes looks for help. Bulldogs in their matchup 2-3 zone, which is what we'll see most of the afternoon, wouldn't you think?
Yes. I think they'll really stay in that defensive look a lot of the game.
Dinnebeer reaches in and forces the tie-up as she grabbed the ball that Weiss was hanging on to, and the Bulldogs get it on the jump ball, alternating possession. And Dinnebeer will bring it up. Dinnebeer averages 23 points per ball game. That is 6th best in the country. She's a 40% shooter from the three-point line and has hit 110 of them this season. Fornchell looks in against the defense of Weiss. Hawthorne being guarded by Porter. Shot clock goes inside 10. 6 for the Bulldogs to shoot. Hawthorne has it slacked away from behind, and the Marquette Golden Eagles come up with the steal, and certainly taking care of the basketball. One of the points of emphasis today for Allison Pullman. Foul called there on Tayden Gray. Both these teams average 16 turnovers a ball game. Pullman feeling the Bulldogs have been a little loose with the basketball of late, and again, turnovers significant in a game like this.
Yes, definitely. Every possession counts, so we really need to make sure both teams are taking care of the ball, especially the Bulldogs really using every advantage they have.
Hallie Weiss, who a year ago won a state tournament championship, actually 2 years ago when she was a senior at Bettendorf, at Pleasant Valley High School, and she played with her sister Quinn Weiss. Now Quinn is a Drake recruit.
Yes, yes.
What do you think she's rooting for today?
It's hard to know. I think she might be pulling for the Bulldogs, though.
I think that's what Coach Kara Consuegra said, in which case Hallie Weiss wants to have a big game today. Here's Dinnebeer on the drive. Slips the pass inside for Becker. The ball slapped away from behind, and the Bulldogs get it with 5:51 left to play in the first quarter. Gray and Becker will leave. Abby Alsma, the transfer from Illinois State, has had an outstanding year at Drake, averaging almost 10 points a ball game. Comes into the Bulldog lineup. Dinnebeer to the base, can't finish it, and the rebound is grabbed by Forbes. She averages almost 6 rebounds a game and a team best 15 points a ball game. Dinnebeer goes for the steal, doesn't get it the first time, but forces a travel on the recovery.
Yep. That's one thing about Katie is, yes, she's known for her scoring, but she does all the little stuff. She's so aggressive on defense. She's getting the ball to her teammates. She's making plays on both ends of the court.
Leads the Missouri Valley Conference in steals, 2.5 per ball game. Leads the country in assists. The pass goes into Miller. She hit her first 2 shots, misses that one, and it's another early rebound for Skylar Forbes. Abby Cracknell, a senior from Avoca Beach, Australia, comes into the lineup for Marquette. She's number 4. The three-point try, nothing but net for Hallie Weiss, and she has a quick 5 for the Golden Eagles. They take a quick 3-point lead, biggest lead for either team thus far in the ballgame. Hawthorne inside Dinnebeer, outside Miller, drives the baseline. There's contact, and an offensive foul would be called on Anna Miller. Good job, they're taking the baseline charge.
Yep.
Lee Volker about to come back in, but we have a timeout. This is the first round of the WBIT. Volker, the senior, second team All-Big East. What a season in her first year as the head coach for Kara Consuegra. As we were saying earlier, she had been on the bench as an assistant coach at Marquette for 7 years before heading for Charlotte, where she was the head coach for 13. Porter gets into the lane around Dinnebeer, misfires, and Miller's there for the rebound for the Bulldogs. She's Drake's leading rebounder and one of the best in the Missouri Valley Conference at 8.7 per game. And Katie Dinnebeer drains the 3. That's her 111th this season, Sarah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Game tied up early for the second time in this first round of the Women's Basketball Invitation Tournament. Forbes picks up the dribble. Just over 4 minutes left to play. Quarter number 1. Bulldogs remain in the matchup zone. Choclaw goes to 5. The pass goes inside to Vice. It's blocked by Anna Miller. For Miller, one of the top shot blockers in the country, her 66th block this season.
Yeah, Anna gets really good position on that. She's able to go straight up and block it out of bounds, what she does best. That's why she's leading the record books in that area.
She is the all-time rebound, or I should say block shot leader at Drake, and number 2 all-time in the Missouri Valley Conference. Inbounding it will be Kennedy Perkins, usually the first player off the bench for Kara Consuegra. The shot misses. The ball rebounded by the Golden Eagles, and a block there by Becker. Now Vice looks for 3, and she's a gifted outside shooter, and she knocks down her second 3. Now she's not hitting a high percentage, just 24%, just 11 on the season, but 2 of 2 so far today.
Yes, I think she might have a deal going with her younger sister. The looks of that.
Well, again, her sister Quinn, the Drake recruit, has told her sister she is rooting for Drake, and Dinnerbeer will go to the foul line.
Yeah, they're not making it easy on Dinnerbeer down there. No one does, but they're already starting off being really physical, making her earn every single shot that she's taking.
And again, so many teams have tried so many ways to stop Katie Dinnerbeer. Nobody's been successful really all season, but especially in the last 9 games. As we mentioned, she's averaging 33 points a game over the last 9.
Yeah, it's not from a lack of people trying to guard her. She's just able to find a way to score and get those buckets.
She is number 2 free throws made in Drake history and number 3 in free throw percentage in Drake history, and she is 4 of 4 today and pulls Drake back to within 1 of Marquette. Marquette playing their 3rd Missouri Valley Conference team this season. Early in the season, they played non-conference games with Indiana State and Illinois State and beat them both. And going to the baseline is Forbes. I'll make it Vice. And Vice, yeah, she has come in on a mission, hasn't she?
Yes,
has 10 points in this first quarter. Miller looks inside. Marquette in a man-to-man defense, which I think we'll see most of that all day from them. Dinnerbeer leaves it short. And they do play it well, don't they?
They do.
And they fast break and score once again. This time it is Olivia Porter with her first basket. And Marquette has taken an early 5-point lead, biggest lead in the ball game for either squad.
Marquette's really locking down in the paint, which is something their coach talked about, that they're going to get more of that perimeter. So, on that one, though, they got a nice cut there.
Becker with a nice cut, scores, and the Bulldogs back to within 3 of Marquette. Once again, it is Skylar Forbes, and there is a block coming from Anna Miller. That's her second block.
Yeah, the pace of this game is really high, and I think it's going to be in favor of Drake when they keep going, and Marquette doesn't go too deep in their bench, so we'll see how that fares.
Bulldogs guilty of the turnover. Change for Drake as Maggie Taylor, a freshman from Rapid City, South Dakota, comes into the lineup for the first time, and Anna Miller will get a rest for the Bulldogs. Inbounding will be Allie Vice, again a sophomore. Last year, really a very marginal player at Marquette, just 12 games last year, and this year she averages 11 points a ball game, 7 rebounds a game, which is best on the Golden Eagle squad. Momentary delay. Not sure, unless it's a time issue. Usually that is a time issue, and they've got 15.9 on the shot clock.
Yeah.
Oh, now they've adjusted that, and the time in the first quarter is what is a minute and 59 seconds, and 30 on the shot clock where it should be, and now play can resume.
Ready to go.
This is Porter, the junior, who came with Coach Consuegra from Charlotte. Giving up in the corner. Forbes on the miss. The rebound chased down by Alsma. Alsma inside. And the ball away from Taylor. As the pass first came to Daly, she tried to flip it along the baseline to Taylor, and the ball knocked out of bounds by Marquette. So inbounding would be Abby Alsma. Alsma, an outstanding three-point shooter. 11th in the country in three-point percentage. She inbounds to Becker. Becker takes it right to the paint. Nothing going there, so she pitches it outside, and Alsma misses on the three ball.
I think Drake can keep working with that, of really drawing in the defense on the inside and kicking it out for a three-point shot.
Perkins coming up with the rebound. There's Lee Volker, who entered the transfer portal before deciding to stay at Marquette, and she's fouled by Brooklyn Daly. Daly with her first foul. The Bulldogs now 4 of the quarter. Same story for Marquette. You see your drive right there, and Daly trying to defend, picking up the foul.
Yep, got a little bit with the body, so that's going to put her on the line and see what these free throws bring.
So Volker transferred in initially from Duke, and again, when the new coach took over, and she was a senior and could have gone elsewhere, and in fact, Kara Consuegra said, you might want to check some other places first, but she decided to remain a Golden Eagle.
Yep, I think that says a lot. That really shows what the program's all about and what the leadership has for this program, and she wanted to be a part of it.
Marquette equals their biggest lead. Becker, Dinnebeer, the ball dead of bounds. Nice defensive effort that time by Jada Bediako. Bediako, a transfer from Georgia Tech, and there she comes on the block.
Yeah, Drake's seen a lot of good cuts, but whenever they're throwing it in there, Marquette's ready to defend it and blocking a lot of shots.
Inbounds pass slapped away. The Bulldogs guilty of a turnover, and again, turnovers have been an issue for Drake. They've been an issue early in this ballgame. The three try won't go, and the rebound taken by Daly, and she gets fouled by Bediako.
Yeah, that was a good box out by Daly, and Drake's able to get the ball back. Yeah, it's going to be a big thing for the Bulldogs. Like Coach Pullman has said, they're really going to have to make sure they tighten up on their passes, dribbling, all of those things, so that they don't have turnovers that could really change the momentum and shift of the game.
Drake 5 turnovers thus far, while Marquette has been assessed with 3. Marquette shooting a little bit better, 6 out of 16. The Bulldogs 4 of 13. And three-point shots, very effective in Drake's offense. They are tied for 4th in the country, averaging 10 threes per ball game. Marquette scores about half that many from the three-point line. Hawthorne back in for the Bulldogs. And Brooklyn Daly at the free throw line. Sophomore from nearby Pleasant Hill, Iowa. Played for her mom at Southeast Polk High School. A 75% free throw shooter, knocks the first one down. Comes in averaging a little less than 3 points a ball game. But lately has seen the most action of any player outside the top 6 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, she's been a good key player coming in off the bench and giving the Bulldogs some very solid minutes.
Porter runs down the rebound. Final minute, first quarter. Kennedy pulls up, fires, and the shot by Kennedy Perkins won't go. The loose basketball contested for it. Dinnebeer and Bediako battle for it, and this time the alternating possession will give it to the Golden Eagles. They've got 20 seconds on the shot clock, 38 and a half seconds left to play in the first quarter.
I think there should be a stat for how many times Katie Dinnebeer ends up on the ground each game, because it's a high number, that's for sure.
It is, and it's amazing. So far in 33 ball games, she's bounced back up every time.
Yes, she has.
Hasn't missed a game. And there's an offensive foul.
Yep.
Porter kind of spreads her hands saying, wait, what did I do? And the officials rule the foul, and so the ball will go back to Drake with a difference of 3.5 seconds between the shot clock at the end of the first quarter as Bridget Utberg, a junior from Canton, Georgia, another of the 6 transfers in the Marquette lineup, comes in. She played at Central Michigan for a year. And she has the defensive assignment against Dinnebeer. Bulldogs down by 4 will wind down the clock. Keep it in Dinnebeer's hands until they start running the offense. Almost a steal that time by Volker, recovered by Hawthorne, I should say. Inside, Dinnebeer loses the handle on it, and that's the way the first quarter will end. And after one period of play in the women's basketball invitation tournament, it is Marquette with a 20-18 lead with still, 16 seconds, with still 1.8 seconds left to play in the quarter. 1.8 left to play in the quarter. And inbounding it will be Hallie Weiss. Weiss, a lockdown defender. Coach really likes her motor, though. She says she's always going.
Yes, she is.
And so far, she's been really going today.
Yes.
She has 10 first quarter points. And now the officials want to discuss exactly how much time should be on the clock, and they've increased it from 1.8 to 3.5 seconds, which is a big difference.
Yes, it definitely is. You have 2 more seconds on there. That's a lot of time to work with.
And now you can really run a play rather than just cast it aside. Weiss, Perkins gets across the midcourt line, splits the defenders, fires and comes close, but does not convert. And at the end of 1 quarter of play, home court for round number 1, and that's the story for Drake this afternoon. Katie Dinnebeer played every minute of the first quarter for the Bulldogs. Nothing unusual for her. She's played 40 minutes in each of the last 2 ball games. Hornshell with a miss, Hawthorne with the offensive rebound. Dinnebeer looks in against the defense of Hutberg, a foul called inside. And a Miller hitting the deck. Foul called on Weiss, and that'll be her first foul. Drake will inbound with Ava Hawthorne to trigger. Looks for help. Nice job by Weiss, making it hard for her to get the ball in bounds, and she forces a turnover. Allie Weiss with a big defensive play. Dinnebeer counters with a big defensive play at the other end. Fornchell lobs into the post. Miller turns, fires, leaves it short. And the ball batted out by Weiss and picked up by Perkins.
Both teams really rely on that transition.
They really do. Forbes with a miss for 3. And again, as you pointed out, she can go inside or outside. She's an effective scorer either way.
She is. They haven't fallen yet, but I have a feeling that they're going to.
And speaking of one fall is there for Shannon Fornchell, her 19th 3 of the year, and that brings Drake back to within 1 at 20-19. Kennedy Perkins works the ball on the right side. Now Weiss on top. Drake has showed a little man-to-man defense late in the season, and basically they stay with that matchup zone, which is very effective.
Yes.
Miller defending Weiss, and the ball will go back to Marquette with 13 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Shannon got set up, got a really good shot at the top. Goes right in and on to the next thing.
And again, Dinnebeer averaging more than 7 assists per ball game. That is best in the country.
You would think with all that scoring she does, she wouldn't have time to pass, but she finds her teammates and they're hitting shots too.
Skylar Forbes inside. Nice job against Anna Miller to connect. Forbes has got 6 early. Miller slips, not knocked down that time, just slipped as she falls down, gets up, and then due to a defensive switch, she finds an open Abby Alsma. Marquette tries to add to their 1-point lead, and the ball off the knee of Skylar Forbes, forced by Anna Miller. Miller, a couple of blocks and a couple of good defensive plays early for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, she has to be ready for anything that Skylar throws at her because like we said, she's versatile. She's going to try to dribble, go off the bounce, shoot, and has been ready.
Dinnebeer very quickly to the basket. She just kept coming and coming at a head of steam. Scores her first 2-point basket, but it's a quick answer by Lee Volker at the other end. Volker with her second bucket. And yes, the pace of the ball game right now very high for both teams, where the way they want to play it.
Yes, exactly. They're really having to rely on their tempo and their endurance. They've spent all season getting ready for this.
Dinnebeer shoots a pass intended for Miller, and it's flagged down by Forbes. Forbes 6'3", long arms, nice job of deflecting the pass. Perkins works against Dinnebeer, stops in the lane, mid-range jumper won't go. Anna Miller there to pull down the rebound for the Bulldogs. Miller with her 4th rebound. But a travel will give the basketball back to Marquette, and again, turnovers really hampering Drake right now.
Yes, they are. That could have been a transition down the other end, but had a little fumble and got a travel in that situation.
Drake's 9th turnover, Marquette has 6. So neither coach happy with the turnover total, but again, Allison Pullman telling us earlier today the controlling and containing the basketball, very important for her squad today.
Yes. And as Drake plays with a high tempo, there's always going to be an increase in some of those turnovers just with how many possessions you get per game. But Drake still needs to make sure they're being really secure with the ball and taking advantage of everything they can.
Perkins lobs a pass inside. Forbes has the ball slapped away. The ball goes back to Drake. Skylar Forbes, such an amazing year. Again, first team All Big East Conference, averaged 15 points a ball game. The amazing thing about her is didn't really start playing basketball till 9th grade.
Yes, that just blows my mind that to be at this level and how she's producing and how she's playing. It's incredible.
Still learning things like footwork and all the things that are basic, but she, like Katie Dinnebeer of Drake, was a gymnast early in her life. Katie did not outgrow the gymnast height. But Forbes definitely did.
Forbes did, yep. Just a little bit different, difference there.
Alsma to trigger for the Bulldogs, who tried to take the lead on this possession. It's Dinnebeer posting up, nothing going there, so Alsma looks for 3 and nails it.
Some really good decision making by Katie to kick it out, had that double team, and found Abby.
She hits 44% of her threes. That is 11th best in the country, 2nd best in the Missouri Valley Conference, and it gives Drake the lead back. But trying to answer with that is Forbes, can't. And Courtney Bicker pulls down the rebound for the Bulldogs. Fornchell running the floor well, but again, Marquette really transitioning well on defense to slap it away.
Yes. Yeah, again, Katie was double teamed found her teammate kick out too. Abby knocked it down, hit another three.
The inbounds feed comes to Fornchell. She weaves inside, gets around Forbes, but misses the shot, and Skylar Forbes is there to pull down the rebound.
Underneath, Drake really needs to settle in, just take their time. Forbes is really jumping out a lot. They could use that to their advantage, get some more baskets.
Vice saves it. And the Golden Eagles will reset their offense. 5:45 left to play, first half. Hutberg fires the three. The long rebound comes to Becker. Peyton Gray looks inside. Alsma has been hot from the three-point line. She still is. Knocked down her second three in the ballgame. She has 8 points in this quarter, and the Bulldogs have gone from a 5-point deficit to a 5-point lead, over 20 points.
Yes, they really fought for it at the end.
And Drake right now on a 6-0 run, and Marquette has missed their last 5 shots. But the Golden Eagles getting a second chance on that long rebound. Shot clock is down to 10. Volker finds Forbes. Forbes turns, fires, leaves it short. Dinderbeer runs down the rebound. The Bulldogs try to add to their 6-0 run. They've hit 5 of their last 6 shots. Abby Alsma with a couple of threes in that situation. And in this quarter, Drake has outscored Marquette 13-4 after Marquette led by 4 at the end of quarter number 1. Shot clock inside 10. Dinderbeer tries to work. Here's Fornchell against Volker. Flips the pass inside. A terrific feed to Courtney Becker.
Yes, they really worked that full shot clock and really worked it around the floor that time.
And it's an 8-0 run for Drake. And one thing the Bulldogs are known for, and this is true over the last many years, is passing. They're 5th in the country, averaging 19.5 assists per game.
And they've been doing a really good job rebounding so far this game, of taking advantage of all those missed shots by Marquette.
Alsma still red hot. She has hit 3 of 3 from three-point range.
She makes it look easy.
Bulldogs open their biggest lead, up by 10, and an 8-0 run, and now a 12-2 run over the last 4+ minutes for the Bulldogs. And meanwhile, the Golden Eagles are looking for their first basket in their last 7 tries. On the baseline, it's Vice. Turns. Gray comes out on her. Cracknell starts to drive. And after the ball, there's contact and a foul.
I think that might have been 3 seconds.
Oh, you're right. 3-second violation.
You don't see those very often.
No, you don't. Just a couple of times a year. As you see, Alsma with the long-range bomb. When she is on fire, she is very tough to stop. And today, so far, she has been right on fire. She missed her first 3 try and then has hit 3 in a row.
I think Drake's really started to settle in and look a little more poised on offense, not letting the tempo of Marquette speed them up or get them out of their comfort zone, but really working through.
Porter gets called for the foul, and that'll be number 3 on Olivia Porter, which is a big difficulty for Marquette. They hate to lose their outstanding point guard. Perkins will replace her. She's been the top player off the bench for the Golden Eagles this season. Miller comes on top to take the pass, gets it right back to Dinderbeer, who does not score. It runs the rim, goes out.
Sat there for a second.
It really did, didn't it? Mason quickly the other direction, finds Forbes, reverse layup, got it.
Marquette does that really well, that transition. They got the ball, they ran, they got to Forbes, and she finished nicely.
And she has really been incredible this year. The pass comes inside to Miller, the ball knocked away from her, and a foul spotted. Kennedy Perkins getting the foul.
Wide open lane, pass it, a nice reverse layup finish by Forbes. That's not an easy shot to make, and she just put it right in on the way down.
She is very impressive at 6'3" tall, just a sophomore, and again, limited action last year. So you talk about somebody with a huge upside, that would be true of number 11, Skylar Forbes, who's from Markham, Ontario, Canada. Anna Miller at the free throw line. She had a terrific ball game for Drake in the quarterfinals of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament against Illinois State. 21 points, 10 rebounds. That was her 10th double-double of the year, and hit 4 threes, which was a career high.
Yes. She was the one that was on fire during that game.
She's got 6 in this one. Miller, just the 5th player in Missouri Valley Conference history with more than 1,500 points and more than 1,000 rebounds. Pass comes inside to Vice, draws the double team and draws the foul. And Hallie Vice will go to the line.
It's actually been a pretty physical game so far. Not everything's been called, but just seeing on the inside, everyone's getting bodied up and making sure that's not easy on either end.
Peyton McCabe, who has just seen her first action for the Bulldogs in the afternoon, comes up with the foul. Vice goes to the line where she knocks down the free throw. A 76% free throw shooter. She had 10 points in the first quarter. That her 11th point of the ball game. Led her team to a state tournament championship here in Iowa a couple of years ago in her senior year with her sister Quinn, a member of that team as well. Quinn and company got to the state tournament this year in Iowa, but were eliminated in the first round. Dinnebeer trying to put a couple of moves on Mason. Dinnebeer slides inside Mason and scores. That's what makes her tough. She has a lot of moves.
Yeah, she has a lot of counter moves. You think you have her stopped, and then she finds another way to get around you and put the ball in the hole.
Bulldogs by 10 as Kennedy Perkins puts the ball to the floor. Screened by Forbes, and Perkins takes advantage of it. Perkins, a transfer from Syracuse, played there a couple of years. This her first year in a Marquette uniform. Dinnebeer puts it to the floor against Mason, and she misfires. Gets her own rebound, will go up again. And then she gets whacked across the nose, and the foul called on Marquette. Skylar Forbes with her second foul. And so Forbes will leave the lineup, and coming in to take her place, Jetta Bediako, the sophomore from Brampton, Ontario candidate, transfer from Georgia Tech. So the Bulldogs with an 8-point lead as Perkins goes out. It'll be interesting to see if Marquette's able to hang in with her on the bench. The shot is short by McCabe, but the offensive rebound is there by Anna Miller.
Drake needs every member of that team, but especially Anna on the inside whenever she's getting in there, getting those rebounds, picking up those shots. It's a big part of the Drake offense.
Both coaches talked to us about the importance of offensive rebounding today. They both average 11 rebounds, offensive rebounds per game. There's a travel called against Perkins. The ball goes back to Drake. But you got to figure offensive rebounds, second chance opportunity is going to be vital in this game.
Yes, it's usually what games come down to.
Couple of starters, Fornshell and Becker back onto the court for the Bulldogs. The winner of this first round game in the women's basketball invitation tournament will take on the winner of tonight's matchup between James Madison and Davidson. On top, Becker swings it for Dinnebeer. Dinnebeer shoots a pass inside for Fornshell. The sophomore from Minnesota tries to move in traffic and travels. And again, some good defense by Hallie Weiss.
Yes, she is lockdown defense. She's just creating that wall, moving with the players, and getting some good stops.
Marquette is a team giving up 58 points a ball game, one of the best numbers in the Big East Conference, and the Bulldogs are already at 40 against them. Lee Volker works against the shorter Dinnebeer. Perkins against Hawthorne. 8 seconds on the shot clock, going for the tie, and there's an offensive foul called away from the ball. That time they got Lee Volker. Volker coming off that knee injury very late against Villanova, and a tough ball game for her, very uncharacteristic in the quarterfinals against Villanova. She was just 1 of 11 from the floor and a season-low 3 points. So she comes back today looking to greatly improve on that effort. Final half minute of the first half. Baseline drive by Fornshell, leaves it short. Miller with another offensive rebound. Dinnebeer looks for three. Had that gone down, would have been maybe a really big turnaround.
Yes, big momentum shifter.
But Marquette lives to fight another day. The Bulldogs with the ball, though. Shot clock is off. 11 seconds left to play in the first half. Big crowd on hand on this Thursday afternoon for a 2 o'clock tip-off. They're right now behind the Bulldogs. With 1 second, the pass goes inside, and it's too late. Becker had the shot. Deputy Director of Athletics left that job to become the Director of Athletics at Drake, Brian Harden, and he's done a terrific job since joining Drake in 2017. He was a track letterman in his days at Marquette. Inside it comes to Forbes. Not a surprise they go there first. Anna Miller has her third block.
Yeah, it's been a battle. Anna's been ready for those.
Miller tries to find Becker, and the ball knocked out of bounds by Mason, so it will be Drake basketball with 9:37 to play in the third quarter.
I'm sure they don't like getting the ball tipped away, but getting it back and be able to set up an inbounds play isn't too bad.
Becker in the middle. It comes to Miller. Pump fake. against Forbes. Misses the shot, tries to tip it back to a teammate, but instead it's picked up by it's picked up by Porter. And then from the corner, the shot is drilled by Volker. Volker now with 7 points. And Marquette scores first in the third quarter. Becker looks to answer with a three and does. Courtney Becker comes back with a three. Becker having an outstanding senior year. The pharmacy major, averaging 10 points, 8 rebounds a game, and she has 7 points in this one. Drake re-ups the lead to 10. The pass comes inside to Forbes, who fires and scores.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Forbes being a little more active this half. A few of her shots were not falling before. I think she's going to get going.
3 of 10 shooting in the first half, and she is a better shooter than that. And you're right, she's the one who can really propel Marquette back into this league. She can also do it at the defensive end.
Yes, she can.
Comes up with a steal there. Jalen Mason inside to score. Nice move by the junior from Kansas City, the transfer from Southern Illinois.
I think for Marquette to be successful this second half, they really have to push the ball, use that transition, use their size and athleticism to score some baskets.
Marquette shaves the 10-point halftime deficit to 6. Ashley Imes, who started the ball game, her first start at Drake, being honored as a senior on what may be her last game here at the Knapp Center, and she's in the lineup as the second half begins. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Dinnerbeer lets fly. And the rebound goes out of bounds. That's going to stay on the Drake end. Ava Hawthorne comes into the lineup for the Bulldogs. And also about to come in Shannon Fornchell, so it will be Imes after that brief appearance, starting the second half to leave the lineup for Drake.
The Bulldogs really rotate through, have people come in, have fresh legs. I really think that attributes to their transition, how they're able to keep up the pace the entire game.
And now Son Pullman thinks it might be the difference in this ball game, that depth factor that Drake has. Fornchell guarded by Volker. Becker finds Dinnerbeer. Becker sets the screen. Now Becker will try for 2 threes in a row to start the half. It's not there, and the rebound's taken by Lee Volker. Volker, the senior from Vermont, or I should say from Virginia, transfer from Duke. And coming in to score, Marquette, Bediako connects.
Marquette definitely has had a big momentum shift. They've shaved down that 10-point lead. Now to make it 4, Drake needs to answer.
Miller drills the three. Anna Miller finding that three-point range late in the season. 4 against Illinois State, a game before the semifinals, and now that one there. Now, Miller hits the deck along with Volker as they collide. Both up, no harm, no foul. Mason with a shot that won't go, and the follow shot's put through by Bediako. Jada Bediako averages just 2 points a ball game, and she's come back with back-to-back baskets here in this quarter. And again, it's a 5-point lead for Drake. Marquette stays with the man-to-man defense. Pass goes inside. It was a nice feed from Miller. She was unable to finish the first time, but there's the follow for a bucket. 9 points now for Courtney Becker.
Courtney's another one of those players that she is such a rebounder. She'll get in there and she'll make a difference on the boards.
She really will, especially at the offensive end as Weiss spins and scores. Weiss, who had a 10-point first quarter, now 14 points in the ball game. Fornchell against the defense of Weiss. Ball comes inside to Hawthorne. Tries to dish it to Fornchell. Does a nice job catching a tough-to-handle pass and then winds up turning it over. Volker picks it up. Mason quickly the other direction. Both these teams like to get up and down the court. That is the game plan offensively for both. Porter playing with 3 fouls. Baseline feed Weiss. No. Foul called. Anna Miller is going to get her second foul. Tayton Gray comes in. And Anna Miller will leave for Drake. At the free throw line, Allie Weiss, not only was she an outstanding basketball player, she was a volleyball All-American in her days at Pleasant Valley High School in Bettendorf, Iowa.
Wow. A lot of good athletes running around this basketball floor.
Absolutely. And again, if you joined us late, we'll mention her sister Quinn is a Drake recruit for next season. And Weiss knocks down a couple of free throws, and she's been red hot from the free throw line, 6 for 6 today. Her season high 20. She's done that 3 different times, and she already has 16 in this one. And it's a 3-point ball game. Thornchill working against the defense of Volker. She really plays tough defensively, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Drake's going to have to continue just to settle in and not let the pace of Marquette's defense rattle them or speed them up. With
the shot clock at 5, Dinderbeer forces a shot, tried to draw a foul, couldn't do it. Thornchill got the rebound but stepped out of bounds, and the ball will go back to Marquette and the plays for Bluter and her coaching staff of Jan Jensen and at the time Jenny Fitzgerald. She said they treated her like they had recruited her even though they had her only 1 year. Dinderbeer gets a hand on it, can't control it, and Marquette will keep it.
I love all the connections to Iowa. I mean, you realize how small the world is and hearing about good people in Iowa and good basketball.
It's true, and that's why this is a great place to host a first-round game in the WBIT. 19 seconds on the shot clock as the ball is inbounded to Volker. Volker brings it on top. Inside the pass comes to Weiss. Shot clock down to 6, and the three-point try won't go by Porter, and the long rebound is run down by Becker. Marquette had hit 6 of their last 8 shots prior to that miss, as they have come back from 10 down to 3 down. Dinderbeer, nice head and shoulder fake to get to the basket and score. Good ball fake that time.
Yeah, faked me out even all the way over here.
She's got 13 points now. So one thing that Marquette has done is really contain her scoring. Now this is a player in the last 9 ball games has 5 30-plus performances and 2 40-point performances. So it's been the surrounding cast that has helped Drake maintain this lead.
Yes.
Dinderbeer goes for the steal, almost gets it. Volker retrieves it and scores.
Really think it comes down to confidence for these Drake players, knowing that they can score, are able to score. I mean, you've seen Anna Miller knock down some threes, Abby Alsman. That all comes down to just confidence in each other and hitting big shots.
Lob intended for Dinderbeer, but she got thrown off track, and Bridget Utberg comes up with the interception. Weiss spins, fires, leaves it short. The rebound, retrieved, somehow strike. That's how tight whipping the baseline. Utberg able to save it. Great effort.
Again, rebounding is going to be huge. Right now, Marquette's winning on the boards, those O boards, and getting second chance opportunities.
Bediako looks inside, nothing going there. Shot clock is at 3. It goes to Volker. Volker fires a 3 that's off the iron. The rebound out of bounds, and it's last touched by Tatum Gray. And a new 20 will go on the shot clock as Brooklyn Daly, Anna Miller, and Abby Alsma come into the lineup, replacing Hornchell, Gray, and Becker for the Bulldogs. And again, Allison Pullman just uses a constant stream of substitutions.
Yes, she does. She keeps her floor general on the floor. Katie's been playing every minute, and you can really see that her conditioning's holding up for her.
She's played virtually every minute the last 3 ball games and has played every minute so far today.
Yes.
I say virtually one game, she only played 39 minutes and 15 seconds. A slacker. And then the 2 40-minute games, the last 2.
Yes, which is a very hard thing to do, coming from someone that has played college basketball. That you got to be in top-tier shape to be able to do that.
And she is that. And again, she's 6th all-time in Drake scoring, as many Drake records. And there's a collision, and there's a foul. That time, Dinderbeer colliding with Volker. And it's Volker with her second foul. Second foul called against the Golden Eagles here in the 3rd quarter, which has 2:36 remaining. Eva Hawthorne to inbound. Brandon Enterline, the official, hands her the basketball. Here's a steal by Mason. Boy, we were told she is the fireball of the team from Marquette. That's what Coach Consuegra described her because of her speed. You saw it right there.
I saw it right there. I can see why she has that nickname.
She has 6 points in a ball game where she averages 8.5. It's a 1-point game as we head late in the 3rd. Anna Miller fires, misfires, and the rebound is taken by Olivia Porter.
Marquette really has taken advantage of scoring opportunities even without having Skylar Forbes in there on the inside.
Mason inside again, and Miller's going to be called for the foul. And that for Anna Miller will be her 3rd foul. So now each team has a player with 3 fouls. Porter for Marquette. Drake has Miller with 3. So she will check out of the lineup, and Maggie Taylor will come in to take her place. Hawthorne is also out, and Alsman's back in.
Yeah, that foul is big. I mean, Anna, in order to make impact, has to be on the floor, and with fouls, she's not able to be. That's big for both teams as their inside players are having to sit due to 3 fouls each.
Jaden Mason, the transfer from Southern Illinois. The Bulldogs well familiar with her. It's her first free throw opportunity of the ball game. She now has 5 points in the quarter, 7 points in the ball game. She brings this game to a tie and gives the Golden Eagles the lead by going 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Game tied up momentarily for the 6th time, and this is the 5th lead change. Peyton McCabe has come onto the floor for the Bulldogs. Wears number 11. The pass goes inside. Alsma with a nice move, but it falls out, and the rebound is almost fingertip controlled by Olivia Porter. She did all she could to hang on to it and keep it in bounds and could not do it. So down by 1, Drake will inbound.
That gives Drake a little break, then you take advantage on this inbounds play.
It comes into Brooklyn Daly. Nothing going there, so she'll bring it back out to Dinnebeer. Dinnebeer cuts to the basket and gets the basket on a nice pass from Brooklyn Daly, and she will go to the line for an and one with a foul whistled against Jaden Mason. So Dinnebeer with her 15th point.
Yeah, Kate does a really good job cutting in there hard, finishing strong, going up into the contact to get that and one.
Knocks down the free throw. She's perfect in 5 free throw tries today. Dinnebeer with 16 points to lead the Bulldogs.
It's amazing how Katie sometimes can score a quiet 30. Seems like she racks those points up and you're not quite sure where they come from.
And what's been amazing is her ability to take over a game in the 4th quarter. Nice feed inside to Mason. Mason really become a factor here in this 3rd quarter as 8 of her 10 points have come in quarter number 3. Game tied up at 53. Weiss goes for the block and gets it. Good move by Hallie Weiss.
To Marquette, all the players definitely are taking advantage of scoring opportunities, playing big defensive stops. It's really a team effort.
Bridget Utberg back in for Marquette, leaving the lineup with those 3 fouls as Mason. Kara Consuegra does not want her to pick up the 4th before the quarter ends as Katie Dinnebeer drills a 3. And you know, it becomes Katie time when the ball game is being decided. She has been tremendous of late from the 4th quarter, or in the 4th quarter.
Yes, she has. She is a competitor through and through. She knows when to take over a game and when she needs to get going.
Taylor on top, tries to find Dinnebeer on the baseline, but Utberg is there for the interception. Lead feed to Weiss.
Drake's had a little trouble with those passes, and they kept them low. They're having the guards get in there and grab the ball high in order to make those passes and complete them.
Weiss leading Marquette with 18 points, 2 shy of a career best. 4-second differential between the shot clock and the end of the 3rd quarter. Dinnebeer being watched by Bridget Utberg, the transfer from Central Michigan. Crowd counts it down. McCabe hands the Dinnebeer. With 2 on the shot clock, the pass goes inside, intended for Taylor. It's batted away. 2 seconds left in the half. Trying to save it in bounds was Jaden Mason, and it will go back to Drake. Just .2 left in this 3rd quarter. And the Bulldogs will, of course, not attempt a shot, and the quarter has come to an end. And we've got a 1-point ball game as we head for the 4th quarter.
It's been an exciting, fast-paced ball game.
Marquette outscoring Drake by 9, 25-16 in the 3rd quarter, after Drake had outscored Marquette 24-10 in the 2nd quarter. The Golden Eagles with the basketball first. Forbes attacks the paint, finds Porter. Porter gets Taylor up into the air, and Taylor fouls her.
Forbes is back in after sitting some time on the bench with those 3 fouls.
So Forbes with 3 fouls, Mason with 3 fouls, and Porter with 3 fouls for Kara Consuegra's group. And for the Bulldogs, it's Anna Miller with 3 fouls, and nobody else really in any foul difficulty. Olivia Porter really did a nice job playing, I think, the entire 3rd quarter without picking up another foul.
Yes, she did.
Knocks down a pair of free throws, or 1 out of 2 from the line, I should say, to make it a tie ball game. This game tied up now for the 7th time. Becker, one of 3 1,000-point-plus scorers on the floor for the Bulldogs. Here's Taylor inside. Reverse layup, no. Dinnebeer hit the deck and a foul, as so did Marquette. Had a player go down also in Forbes as they collided along the baseline. And I believe they're just going to give the out of bounds to Marquette. Oh, there was a foul called. Excuse me, there was a foul called.
Was it called on Katie?
I believe you're correct. It was on Katie, and that's her first foul. So Dinderbeer with the foul. Marquette with the basketball in this game, tied at 56.
It all happened so quickly. I wasn't sure.
It really did.
What went down.
Forbes tries a three. It's long, and the rebound out of bounds, and it goes back to Drake.
Yeah.
Porter now 0-4 shooting the three ball, and she is really a player who is not a great three-point shooter, but good enough that she would hope to hit better than that. She is a 34% free throw shooter, or three-point shooter, which is not bad, certainly.
No, especially as a 6'3" forward.
Absolutely. She does so many things well. McCabe has her shot deflected, and the ball will go back to Marquette.
Drake really needs to make sure that they settle in and just rely on their offense and what they do, not to get sped up by Marquette or knowing that it's the fourth quarter.
Allie Weiss with 18 points, inbounds it to Olivia Porter. The transfer from Charlotte, who came with the head coach, Hans Fregua. Mason on top, Porter. Shot clock goes down to 12. Forbes into the lane, has it slapped away by Miller, picked up by Dinnerbeer. Lead feed, Alsma. Can't finish. And there for the rebound is Weiss.
Good look, just a little too hard off the backboard.
Mason quickly the other direction, and she tries to get it inside to Forbes, and that ball is lost. Swap and turnovers. The Bulldogs come back up with it. Becker waits for her defender to fly by, misses the three. Miller had the rebound for a moment. It's loose on the court, and it rolls to Marquette, and Olivia Porter picks it up. Volker for three. The long rebound controlled by Alsma.
Both teams are getting a little frantic right now. I'm sure
Yes,
their head
they are.
coaches are just wanting them to breathe, take a second, and settle in.
Back into the lineup for the Bulldogs, Shannon Fornshell. Leading will be Peyton McCabe. Drake will inbound with Alsma, Dinnerbeer, Miller, Becker, and Fornshell. Becker fields the inbounds pass. Fornshell watched by Volker. Pass in the lane comes to Becker. Becker gathers herself and scores. Did a good job getting to the basketball, gathered herself well, and knocked it down.
Yeah, she just settled in, took her time, finished strong.
Becker now in double figures with 11. Off the baseline, the shot won't go by Forbes. Drake basketball with a 2-point lead. 7.5 to play.
Although Forbes hasn't been making those little drive layups, that's something that Drake's any prepared for because she's putting the ball on the floor every time she's gotten it.
Forbes not showing a lot of caution with 3 fouls, but she was able to force the turnover. Now at the other end, she scores. Skylar Forbes, first team all Big East, does so many things so well.
Yes, there's a reason that she's first team.
As a sophomore in the Big East Conference, that is an accomplishment.
That is.
She has 12 points today. Dinnerbeer looks for 3 and knocks it down. Katie Dinnerbeer, and we mentioned in the fourth quarter, Dinnerbeer's taken over some Drake ball games, and the Bulldogs hoping she can do that now. She gives Drake a 3-point lead.
Even as Katie starts to take over a little bit, I hope the rest of the Drake players continue to play their roles, do their jobs, and help her out.
Weiss almost had it taken away by Dinnerbeer, finds Porter. Porter misfires from 3. Scrap for the rebound between Becker and Volker. And it's out of bounds off of Volker.
Marquette definitely has gotten a little scrappier on those rebounds, so Drake's doing a good job boxing out. Yeah, Katie open, just fired it, made that shot like she's done so many times before.
Her third 3 in the ball game. 22 points for Dinnerbeer, who's played again every minute today.
It's making me tired just thinking about it, Larry.
And again, if she plays another 40 or more, this will be the 3rd game in a row she's gone the distance.
Wow.
And the other game prior to that, just 45 seconds short of going the distance. Dinnerbeer into the lane. One of 5 finalists for the Mid-Major Player of the Year. And again, for the 2nd year in a row, won the Jackie Stiles Award as the Missouri Valley Conference Most Valuable Player. Also made the All-Defensive Team, the Valley All-Tournament Team, Academic 2nd Team. And, by the way, she was also won the Good Neighbor Award from State Farm for what she does in the community.
That's amazing.
Lob comes inside, nice feed, finds Forbes, and Forbes back-to-back baskets.
Forbes is warming up a little bit. She's really settling in and making up for lost time in that first half.
Brings the Golden Eagles back to within 1. Gray has the ball deflected by the long arms of Forbes. At 6'3", she deflects the pass. Dinnerbeer tries to take it away from her and can't. Marquette plays for the lead with 5:45 left in regulation. Porter suggests the offense get into a little more motion. Hunts Rager off the bench, making a similar point. Weiss works against Becker with 8 on the shot clock, and the rebound taken by Thornshell. Drake with a 1-point lead comes up the court. Becker shoots a pass for Dinnebeer. Dinnebeer, backdoor cut to Alsman. Alsman will go to the foul line.
That was a really good cut by Abby as Katie found her on the way to the basket.
Porter got the foul. That is number 4 for Olivia Porter. And so she will check out in favor of Kennedy Perkins. Abby Alsma, a transfer from Illinois State, first year in a Drake uniform, only to the free throw line 10 times this year. She's hit 6 of them. And there is number 7 to give the Bulldogs a lead of a pair. Alsma with a double-figure performance at her 12th point. Playing a team against which, from her home state, she's from Waupun, Wisconsin. And she gives Drake the lead of 63-60. Just over 5 to play. It's Upberg looking for a 3 and knocking it down. Just her 12th of the year, but a big one there by Bridget Upberg to tie the score. And a steal by Upberg. Volker has it slapped away from her, goes to the floor to retrieve it. And a timeout taken
In the second half and leading her team.
Drake has all 4 timeouts remaining. To save a possession, Marquette had to use one there. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. Drake's got the possession arrow. Upberg misfiring in the 3. A moment ago she hit a 3, has not hit many this year, but that had to be a big one to tie it up. Feed inside, Dinnebeer misfiring, and the rebound taken offensively by Miller.
That was a good connection by Abby to Katie, just couldn't finish it this time.
Upberg has done a nice defensive job on Dinnebeer when she has been in there. This time Dinnebeer uses the screen, can't finish, gets her own rebound. Alsma finds an open Miller who was calling for it, turns, fires, leaves it short, gets another rebound. And the Bulldogs will have another 20, but they won't use it because Alsma fires a long 3.
And Drake has had a lot of those little chip shots that have not quite gone in. I want to know how many they've missed. Like quite a few points left out there.
The 3 won't go by Forbes. And out on the floor, a foul's called. That foul called against Brooklyn Daly, and that'll be her second foul. Timeout.
And Becker.
And Becker. So just one non-starter on the floor right now for Drake. 3:45 to play. Again, Drake with the possession arrow. Drake 4 timeouts. Marquette with 2. Mason on the inbounds finds Porter. Porter playing with 4 fouls. Mason pulls up and scores. Jaden Mason, red hot in the second half, gives her team the lead. Becker against Volker.
Again, Drake's really need to settle in, not get sped up, work through their offense and find the openings.
Shot clock down to 10 as the Bulldogs are using the time. Miller eyes a 3, misfires that time, and the rebound taken by Mason. Mason with 10 points in the second half and 12 for the ball game. She's really been a spark. Forbes fires and scores. Forbes with an 8-point second half and a 16-point ball game. Marquette's biggest lead of the second half for them is Dinnebeer drives in. Mason fouls her, and that'll be her 4th foul.
Drake's done a good job of driving in, getting to the line, getting those 3 points, stop the clock, and take advantage of it.
And Dinnebeer, who is 3rd all-time career free throw percentage of Drake, will go to the line. He's got 22 points in the ball game. And misses, a rare miss for Dinnebeer. One more for Dinnebeer. First the substitution. Shannon Thornshell comes in. And I guess she's going to come in, well, it was Daly who started to leave. Maybe it's for Dinnebeer, which would be her first rest of the ballgame if that's the case. She does hit the free throw.
Oh, I think she just got to the table too late.
You're right. So it is Daly who leaves. I didn't think that Dinnebeer would leave, but she remains in. She's played every minute of this one. 2:44 remaining. Marquette ball and a 3-point lead as the Golden Eagles look for their 21st win of the year. Mason finds Porter. Porter loses the ball to Dinnebeer, but it's picked up by Weiss. Still plenty of time for the Golden Eagles, 10 on the shot clock. Inside comes Mason to score.
She's so fast.
Boy, she is the story of this second half.
Yes, she
for
is.
Marquette. 69-64, Golden Eagles. Ozma kicks from Miller. Dinnebeer working against the lightning-quick Mason. Tries to get the pass inside for Miller, and the ball deflected out by Marquette. 11 seconds on the shot clock for Drake. Quick substitution will come in for Marquette, and Bridget Utberg doesn't have a lot of numbers, but has really been a factor here in this fourth quarter.
Yes, she has, both offensively and defensively. She's gotten her hands on a few things, got some steals, turned it in their favor for Marquette.
Big possession for Drake. Alsma looks for three and gets it. Abby Alsma drills a three.
She
and it's a 2-point game.
So confident out there on the three-point line.
Her fourth three of the ball game. A minute 45 to play, and the crowd now beginning to get on their feet to try to implore the Bulldogs to a victory on their home court. The pass comes inside to Forbes. It's blocked by Miller. Anna Miller comes up with a big defensive play. The Bulldogs down by 2 with a minute 29 to go.
Anna's been really steady down there in the paint. Being big in those blocks, it's really changed the game.
Becker looks at the Bulldog bench for a moment. Dinnebeer now with the ball with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Poked away by Utberg, but she picks it back up. The middle clears for Dinnebeer. She goes inside. Forbes goes for the block and gets the foul. And then says, "What did I do?" And she picks up the foul. That'll be her fourth foul.
That end of the shot clock really is Katie's bread and butter. She's driving in there, making some counter moves to be able to draw those fouls, which she does so well.
That she does. 23 points in the ball game for Dinnebeer. Tries to tie it. Pulls Drake back within one. This for the tie with 1:09 remaining in regulation. And she hits them both. So Dinnebeer knocked down a couple of free throws to tie this game up at 69 with 1:07 to play.
This is March basketball right here.
It certainly is. Olivia Porter looks in at the Bulldog defense. Final minute, regulation. Mason fires, scores again. What a second half by Jaden Mason.
She has been unstoppable, doing everything she wants.
Drake down by a pair, final minute. 20-second differential, shot clock and game clock. Pass inside to Miller. She misses on the pass from Dinnebeer, and it's a big rebound taken by Weiss for Marquette. Dinnebeer reaches in and fouls. Fouls Porter. Kind of had to do it at this point.
Yeah, I needed to stop the clock, trying to get the ball back.
Marquette, a good free throw shooting team, 77% as a team. And the Bulldogs had a foul to give, so not a foul in this situation. So now both teams with 4 team fouls apiece in this quarter, so nobody no longer has a foul to give. Fouls after this point would result in bonus free throws. Marquette will play for 1, leading by 2. Mason goes around the screen. Set by Weiss. Shot clock at 4. Alsma tries to reach in. At 6'3", Forbes is a big target, but she's guarded by 6'3" Anna Miller. Porter gets the ball inbounds to Volker. Volker pulls up, fires as the shot clock expires. So 1,000 rebounds and also one of the top shot blocker in school history. Inbound speed comes for Dinnebeer, who slipped as she went for the basketball, and it will go to Marquette. So that time Dinnebeer went for the ball, and I think she just slipped.
Yeah, I think her footing was just off.
So now Marquette will inbound. Lee Volker, coming off a disappointing performance against Villanova, having a solid effort today. Drake will foul immediately as inbound speed comes to Forbes. Shannon Fornshell on the foul for the Bulldogs. So Marquette can, with 5.7 seconds to play, make it a 2-possession ball game if Forbes is able to hit both free throws. She's only been to the line twice today and has hit both of them. She is a 90% free throw shooter, which is the best in the Big East. ninth best in the country, and she drains the free throw.
That really was an unfortunate turnover for Drake, just
Yeah,
freak accident.
strange way to perhaps drop a ball game. It's now a two-possession game, which is 5.7 to play, and Drake will use a timeout to play it in. And if you're Kara Consuegra, I guess what you're saying is you don't want to fight any Bulldog at 163.
Yeah.
But right now, it's Marquette with the lead of 4 points with just 5.7 seconds to play. Stay tuned after the ball game. We will be visiting with the winning coach. McCabe inbounds. Dinavir tries a shot. It won't go. Shot clock and the game clock, I should say, winding down, and a foul is whistled, and it's against Drake with 1.8 to play. So the Bulldog bench sensing that this season will come to an end with a record of 22-12. At the line is Porter.
Even if this season isn't ending the way that Drake wants it to, they have so much to be proud of. The seniors have so much to be proud of just over the course of their years playing for Drake University.
Absolutely. Both these teams playing their 26th postseason tournament. Allison Pullman will once again use a timeout. The Bulldogs will possess it at midcourt, but they're down by.
Where you're headed, that's a big time.
They're about to win their 21st ball game of the year and advance to the second round in the WBIT. Dinavir will take what would be the last shot of the ball game, and Marquette has come into Drake and scored a 74-69 victory in round one of the Women's Basketball Invitation